All right, welcome back, listeners, and welcome to the Starting Grid podcast, where we discuss Formula One news and events and the race weekends that come after them. I'm your host, Malik Durajaye.
And I'm Calvin.
All right, and we are back to review the Chinese GP.
Welcome back.
Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be hopefully it's another great race.
Hopefully. So far, everything's been pretty interesting.
This has been a great season.
Australia, everybody had all eyes on Ricardo, and then he messed up in the first 10 seconds, so that was interesting. And then Leclerc was like pushing Vettel, so everybody's like, is he actually gonna fight him? We'll see. And then the second race,
It was the Leclerc show.
The Leclerc show. So, but then the Mercedes show, because Ferrari messed up as usual.
The understudy took the limelight.
I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say that Hamilton is going to take this season. He's going to win the championship.
You're calling it this early.
I'm calling it because what's going to happen is...
It's a long season.
Well, what's going to happen is, all right, Ferrari... So, Ferrari is a super fast car, right? But Leclerc and Vettel are going to be battling for points every race, right? So they're going to split all of Ferrari's points. Whereas, before last season... I mean, Bottas had some points, but realistically, Hamilton was getting all the points for Mercedes for the most part. Like, he was getting the majority, those first places and stuff like that. Bottas didn't come in first not one time. So I think that it'll be...
Well, I mean, right now they're splitting the points in Mercedes.
I know, but I think Bottas is going to fall off. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's going to come back. He was 30 seconds behind him in Bahrain. So what I think is going to happen is Hamilton's going to rack up all of the points for Mercedes, not all, but most of the points for Mercedes, while Vettel and Leclerc split the points, so they'll be coming in second and third, and Hamilton's going to come in first with Bottas in fourth place and Verstappen fifth for the championship. Look at me, predicting the championship 2 races into the season
already. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know. I think Bottas is going to give Hamilton a run for his money. I know what his secret is. It's the Calvin beard he's got going on.
The Calvin beard?
A little bit of stubble. Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
Well, I don't know, because he shaved his beard. Well,
he did?
He shaved for Bahrain.
Okay.
And then look how well he did.
That's his mistake. He's got to let it grow back out, get that confidence,
Yeah, I don't know nothing about the beard game. I don't know nothing about the beard game. I got some, took me like 28 years to get this little mustache I have, this little beard. I can't get them to connect. I got no facial hair, really. Just got we're done. All right, so jumping into the news from the week. As I said in the last podcast, if you heard our little edit there, Alonso and Schumacher didn't do testing in free practice, like we said before Bahrain. It was actually the F1 testing that just happens right after Bahrain. I think we were just a little off on our days. We just didn't know.
It shows how much we pay attention to practice. I mean, we try to watch it, but
yeah. So they jumped in the cars for testing.
Yeah. How did Schumacher do?
He did pretty well. So obviously, all eyes were on him. Everybody, Schumacher name. Just looking at the standings right now, it's awesome to see like Verstappen, Schumacher, Norris, Grosjean. So it's just to see the name back on there. I know a lot of people are hyped about that.
Yeah, it's great to have Schumacher back in Formula One in some capacity.
Yeah, so we'll see what he'll do. I think right now it doesn't seem like he's going to win the Formula 2 championship, because I think that the car is just not the fastest on the grid. Mm-hmm. So, which probably a benefit him, because it'll allow him to get more time in Formula 2 before he comes to Formula. Because if he wins this season, then he's got to come to Formula 1. And I think that means Vettel would be out of a job.
Oh, you think so?
They're not going to not bring Schumacher.
Oh, yeah, because they have that rule in Formula 2. If you win, you're out. And
they're not going to not bring Schumacher into Formula 1. If he wins Formula 2, they're not going to not give him that shot.
Yeah.
And they're not taking Leclerc off.
Do you think they'd put him right into the car, or do you think maybe do a Sauber or even a reserve driver?
That's true. He might maybe go to Sauber or something like that. But who's on Sauber right now? Oh, Kimi Räikkönen.
Right, the Iceman.
And
oh, man.
Who is it? Giovinazzi.
Yeah, Giovinazzi.
There we go. Antonio Giovinazzi. Yeah, I guess would Raikkonen or Giovinazzi go? I think Raikkonen might go because Raikkonen doesn't seem to care that much. He probably cares more than we think, but he's the Iceman, so you can't see his feelings about anything.
Oh no, man! I think he wants to race for as long as he can. At least that's what he was saying last year.
Well, he's definitely the oldest on the grid.
Well, I mean, he still got it. He still got the ice in the veins.
Did you know?
Putting in hot laps.
Speaking of Raikkonen and what he's done for the team, I think he's running in third place right now. I think he's got Sauber up in third place for the championship points, which is awesome.
Let's talk about that. The championship points, how they're breaking down. It looks like that fastest lap point Bottas picked up in the first in Australian Grand Prix is putting him over the top.
Helping him out, 1 point above Hamilton.
It's making all the difference right now.
It doesn't matter. My earlier statement still stands. Bottas is not going to come back.
I'm rooting for him. Oh, speaking of Bottas and Hamilton, I guess we should probably clarify what we went over last week. I totally sounded like a Hamilton hater. I mean, I had mad respect for Hamilton. Always at the top of his game. It's
cool. I'm a Verstappen hater, so it's fine.
I love the competition though. So
you could be a Hamilton hater.
I just don't want to see him at the top forever. I love a little bit of competition. So
it's actually Alfa Romeo is actually in fourth place, but still,
yeah, not bad.
Not bad.
Off to a good start.
They weren't there. Were they there last season?
Definitely not. I think fourth place was Renault, and then right after them was Haas in fifth.
Oh yeah, Sauber was down in eighth.
Yeah, so
last season,
huge improvement over last year.
Yeah, Kimi Räikkönen. He's driving the hell out of that car.
Yeah, man,
it's awesome. It's fun to watch him in that car because.
He's just pushing it to the limit.
He's pushing it to the limit. He's running through the pack. It's fun to see these, just like when we see drivers at the front take grid penalties or they start from the back because something happened during qualifying, and you see them run through the field. It's always amazing, right? It's quick because they fly through them so fast.
Like Ricciardo last year.
Yeah, but now we've got a seasoned veteran who's a really good driver who's killing it in the backfield, in the midfield. Unlike, I guess, Alonso was a really good driver, doing very well back there, but McLaren they were kind of in a race of their own a little bit. Last season, they didn't battle too many people.
Yeah, the car just wasn't there.
Things were just kind of spread out. So now with everybody super close, it's awesome to see Raikkonen in there and just making moves. That always gets me excited, too.
Yeah, it's good to see.
All right, so back to what we were talking about before, testing.
Yes.
So, yeah, we had Schumacher in testing on day one. So actually, day one and day two, we have Schumacher and Alonso.
He's testing for Pirelli, right? Technically, or is he actually testing for
Alonso?
No, Schumacher. Yeah.
Oh no, Schumacher was testing for Ferrari.
Okay, for Ferrari.
The only people doing the Pirelli tire test were Fernando Alonso in the McLaren and Daniel Kvyat in the Toro Rosso.
Okay.
Everyone else was testing for the teams.
Right.
So, yeah, that was awesome. It was a lot of hype around him. They were interviewing him quite a bit, and he came out and said that he felt at home in his Ferrari suit. I mean, just looking at him in the Ferrari red was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to follow his career and see how soon it is before he's up in the Formula One.
Up there, yeah, that will be awesome. He's got a hell of a long way to go, though, because there are some very good names in the grid right now. Leclerc.
Well, like even Ocon, he's a great driver.
Yep.
Missed out on his seat, so.
Well, we'll see if luck falls the Schumacher way this time.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, he's got the skill. He's not like wowing too much in Formula 2 at the moment, but everyone's got to fight and kind of build their way up to greatness, right? It's never just immediate.
Time to develop.
Yeah.
No, that'd be good to see.
So on day one, we had Verstappen being the fastest putting down the fastest lap time. Verstappen followed by Schumacher, and then Norris, Grosjean, Alexander Albon, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Stroll, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Alonso, Fittipaldi, which is Emerson Fittipaldi's grandson, by the way.
Oh, wow.
So got some other big
Yeah.
names coming back into
The lineage.
Formula One.
Formula One.
As well, I mean, so Sainz has the not Formula One lineage, but his father was a world champion in rally racing or something like that too.
Yeah.
So Fittipaldi, then Kubica, Daniel Kvyat, and then George Russell. But as far as the fastest lap times, just because Schumacher put in a 1:29.9 or second place or whatever, it doesn't mean he would get out there and be running second place, because who knows what they were all testing. Everybody's testing something different, trying to see what they can get out of the car. But
yeah, testing is a completely different animal.
Yeah, it's not race weekend, so don't read into it too much. So that's kind of, I don't remember much happening from that. It was kind of hard to follow because it wasn't covered on any type of TV coverage.
Yeah.
So you kind of just had to be following someone's tweets that was watching the race. That was not watching the race. That was at the testing, which did happen, but unfortunately we missed that. Or I did. Did you catch anything?
Any of the
like
testing?
The testing live
No.
tweet stuff? No?
I didn't see see any of that.
And then day 2.
It's hard. It's during the week, man.
Yeah. Very difficult.
That 9 to 5 gets in the way.
I know. But if you like and subscribe to our podcast and follow us on social media, you can help us not have a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think everyone needs a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I like my job. I mean, we're both engineers. It's fun to kind of do engineering things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, get in there and do some math.
Right. All right, so day 2, we had on the track, we had Russell, Perez, Vettel, Sainz, Kvyat, Schumacher again, Albon, Stroll, Ticktum, Grosjean, Alonso, Fittipaldi, Norris, Atkin, driving for Renault, but I'm not sure who that is. Haven't heard his name. And then Latifi and Carlos Sainz.
Couple names in there.
Pirelli tests.
I haven't heard before.
I've heard most of them just from Formula 2, looking into that. I haven't watched much of Formula 2, but
I don't know.
I'm starting to try to pay attention now.
I was going to say, you're the expert of Formula 2. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a race.
Expert is a very, very strong word to use. I would say beginner, if that, because I still haven't caught a race, but I looked at their drivers. I read about a few of their drivers as far as that goes. So, yeah, F1 testing, that was on April 2nd and 3rd, Tuesday and Wednesday? Monday and Tuesday? Mm-hmm. What was that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I saw a little bit of
Tuesday and Wednesday
posts and stuff on Instagram about the testing. So
right. So, yeah, that was testing. Anything else you got from testing, Calvin?
No, how did Alonso do with the Pirelli test? Did Pirelli come out and say anything, or?
Well, I don't know. He didn't say anything necessarily about the Pirelli test, but he did speak on the McLaren.
Oh yeah, because he was in the car. How did he compare it to last year?
He said that it's a little bit better, but not that much. Which
wow,
of course he's going to say that because, well, for one, he probably doesn't want to say that it's the same.
Yeah,
because.
I mean, it's obviously not there.
If it's the same, then it means that he wasn't doing a very good job.
Yeah.
That means that Van Dorn was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
But obviously, we all know the car is a lot better.
Oh, yeah.
So
it's a night and day compared to last year.
But he did say that's quite a bit better. He said it wasn't enough for him to try to come back, though.
Oh, okay.
But he did say it was better. They're not going to be winning anything. But I don't know. Maybe he missed Carlos Sainz attacking Max Verstappen. Maybe if he would have saw that, he would have been like, oh, I need to get back in that car.
Yeah. Do you follow Alonso on Instagram? Looks like he's got like a racing team and a lot of drivers that race for him. It looks like it was an open wheel race car that is all in his color scheme.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting.
I think I do follow him. I don't see too much of it, but I do remember seeing that racing team, and I think it's a Super Formula team.
That's what I was gonna say. Super Formula. Yeah, that looks interesting. It looks like they did pretty well for their first race. I saw something today.
Yeah, that's another one I do not follow.
Yeah.
Super Formula, but I did follow it. I think last year before last, I didn't follow, but I was paying attention a little bit because there's a driver from Gran Turismo Academy.
Oh, yes.
That was racing in Super Formula, but now I think he's just in the a GT series. He's driving for Nissan.
Okay.
In some series, he's driving I don't know what, I can't remember the name of the series, but he's driving a GTR.
Like, are they open wheel or are they like prototype cars? Or?
No, GTR. No, just GT3 cars maybe.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, he's driving that. His name is Jan Mardenborough. Mm-hmm. He was in GT Academy about, I don't know, 7 years ago or so. Got the chance to race for Nissan. They were talking about him going to Formula One at some point, but I think he kind of plateaued out. He was on his way up, and he plateaued. His name hasn't been kind of in the media as much anymore. I don't know if his skills are necessarily there, but I still follow him on Instagram and stuff. He's pretty cool, like seemingly cool dude. He responds to my messages when I've messaged him, so hopefully he makes it to Formula One at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Speaking of the GT Academy and the eSports, is that
eSports is starting up, so that's
right
coming
around the corner.
That's starting tomorrow. Actually, people can start qualifying, I think, for it. Qualifying for the races and entering. I don't know. I haven't looked into it too much because I'm terrible at that game.
So if some people don't know, eSports is the F1 video game, right?
Yep. F1, they started in 2016, I think. So it's their third season. And they just do it off the latest released F1 game. Yeah,
which we'll get into that in a little bit when we talk about the Chinese Grand Prix. We did some slow laps, as what Leak like to say.
Right. But yeah, the eSports is pretty cool tournament if you're good at simulator driving, things like that. So you just hop on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I think you can even do it on mobile phone, but I'm not sure how that translates.
That would be difficult.
I know you could do it last year, the mobile game that they have, but I don't really know how far you could go on the mobile phone. At some point, you've got to be able to get into a racing rig, and be able to use the controls of a steering wheel and pedals. Yeah, but I know last season the winner of that became McLaren's simulator driver. Or was it, or did McLaren? No, McLaren had another. They had their own separate kind of competition going to find a simulator driver, and someone won that and became McLaren's simulator driver. But yeah, there's a lot of opportunity for gamers who do like racing games to progress up. There's the eSports, there's GT Academy, although GT Academy hasn't come back yet, I don't think, but they do have their online racing and they fly people out to Europe to compete in person. And I'm sure that if you're out there competing on the world streams, some team is going to see you and they're going to want you for some kind of simulator driving.
Do you think the simulator driving translates well to on the track?
I think it does. Yeah. I would say 100% because here's the thing. I got my girlfriend on that simulator for Gran Turismo on my racing wheel and seat setup. Yeah. And then we went go-karting some months after, and she was still slow, but she did say that she would have been a lot slower had she not played the game. Yeah. Like the game kind of taught her, and me teaching her about racing lines and things like that taught her kind of like what lines to take a little bit.
The technique and everything.
Yeah, technique and stuff. So she did praise it, and I take that as a win in the man's world because that means she can never take away my racing simulator. So
yeah, that thing's staying. I got to get one of those. That was so much fun.
That's fun. It's fun times. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves though. So back on track. So testing, got talked about that. What else? So I guess transitioning into the Chinese GP for this weekend is actually the 1,000th race for Formula One. Mm-hmm. So race number 1,000 in their long 60...
Yeah, I was going to say around...
69 years or 79 years?
I think it's closer to 60.
68 years. Yeah. So their first race was in 1950. Yeah. 68 years, yeah. Dang. So, do you know where their first race was?
No. School me on...
put you on game real quick. Yeah. So their first race was in 1950, and it was on May the 13th. Happened in England. So Silverstone Circuit.
Okay.
The first official winner of that race was, and I'm probably going to butcher this name, Giuseppe Farina. Giuseppe?
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 I don't know. I could be. I'm probably butchering that as well.
Let's see if
Giuseppe.
Will
I don't know.
this pronounce it for me? Nope. So I have no idea how to say his nickname is Nino. Oh, his actual full name is Emilio Giuseppe Nino Farina. So
Okay.
we'll just go with Farina.
Yeah.
Farina was the first winner of the first Formula One race.
Is that back in the day when they did like 8 races a year? Or?
Yeah, there was how many races on the calendar that season? There were 7 races that season.
Yeah.
So Britain, Monaco, the Indy 500. So the U.S.
Yeah, dude.
has always been a part of Formula One from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then Switzerland, Belgium, France, and Italy to finish it off.
Fun fact about the U.S. or Formula One in the U.S. in Phoenix, actually, they used to have a Grand Prix race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was. I don't know which track they took it over from. Some track in the Midwest, and then they moved it to Phoenix, and it was a street circuit through downtown Phoenix.
Nice.
And but they moved the track there and redid the course, and then but they didn't want to change the date. They wanted the U.S. Grand Prix to still be on that date. The only problem was it was in like June or July.
Oh, God.
And it was like 110 degrees.
Yeah, Phoenix burns.
Yeah. I think it lasted like 2 years. It might have been, 2 years. There was a plan for a third. And then they were like, there's no way. No way we're going back there. It's way too hot.
I never do that. Was that during, so they have the race there while you were alive or before our time?
Yeah. So I was a little kid then. I think it was in the mid 90s. I want to say like 93,
We have to look that up. That's
94.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I would have. No, man. And nowadays, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah, right?
They should have done it in March. They would have never left.
Yeah, that's true.
March,
some good
Phoenix
weather,
in
man.
March is perfect.
Yeah. I'm sure that, what's it called? Especially if they have that race going on and what Old Town.
Yeah, down in Old Town Scottsdale. Racing through,
the way Old Town Scottsdale is now.
oh, yeah.
If they were to have a Formula One race in that city, I don't even know. They might burn the city down because Old Town is already pretty intense on the weekends.
Yeah.
So if they had a race weekend and then people were partying, I don't know what would happen to your hometown, bud.
That's like a good game to play. Like, what cities would be good for a street track? Because like I'm running through the layout of Old Town Scottsdale, and there's some windy roads, and there's like a bridge section. It would be perfect.
Yeah,
I think it would be fun to watch. That's for sure.
I'm sure there's plenty of. I guess it all comes down to where you've been and what you can remember about each city.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I can't say I've been to Phoenix, but only 2 or 3 times. But yeah, we're not gonna get into it. I'm just trying to think about all the cities that we've been to. So, but so those are just 7 races that season. 1950 was the inaugural season, and now F1 is kicking off its 1000th Grand Prix. So yeah, that should be cool. It should be a lot. So there's gonna be a lot going on for anybody that's attending the race in China. It's gonna be tons of giveaways, tons of festival activities, things like that.
I mean, I feel like they've been hyping it up, like the race to 1,000 over the last like year or two. But I mean, other than just seeing it at the race, like on a billboard or a display, I haven't really heard much about it until last weekend.
Yeah, it's true. After Bahrain GP is when they started their marketing campaign. It seems like because now there's all kinds of posts on social media about the F1000 is their logo that they've been putting, and there was a couple drivers like Grosjean has a special helmet design. That has the F1000 on the side of it as well. Like
that's gonna be awesome.
Prix, all that. So yeah, it's been some pretty cool stuff. Also, with that being this coming weekend, they are also kicking off their festival campaign. So the F1 Global Festival campaign. So every year they've been doing kind of festivals. I don't know when they started. I think they kind of started under the radar, or maybe we just didn't know about it.
Yeah.
But they did have some festivals here in the U.S. I think it was in...
Was the last one in
I want to say in San Fran and in Miami.
Miami, yeah.
Last year.
Okay.
Which I'm mad I missed the San Fran because we're right here.
Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah. But I think it was during work anyway, so it's sucks.
That's what sick days are for.
Oh, man.
Yeah. When is so where are they where are the locations?
So they're going to do one. So China, obviously, for this weekend, and then they're going to do it in Chicago, LA, and Brazil. And those dates says they're to be announced, TBD. But let's see if they've actually updated anything. So doing a live check right now.
That LA one might be it might be worth making the drive down there.
Could be.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Nope. So no official dates just yet. So still TBD on the dates for those cities, but yeah, they're coming. Chicago, LA, Brazil. Chicago that's gonna be fun. Chicago's a cool city.
Oh yeah, I got to get out there.
I know that will be a good time for any fans that are that way. So yeah, that's that for the news transitioning into Shanghai. Now, jumping into the race weekend, previewing the actual race.
Yeah, so
where do we start?
Well, we tried to do something a little different this week. We jumped in your racing chair there.
That we did.
Fired up the F1 2018.
Yep. So we did jump into the racing simulator. Simulator sounds like such a strong word.
Yeah.
It's just a racing seat
that
I bought for like $200 off of Amazon. It's the open wheeler. Oh, free product. For those. Look, I'm throwing out a free shout out for the company. These like open wheeler brand, and then I've got a G29, Logitech G29.
Yeah,
steering wheel.
That controller is pretty sweet. The feedback in that it caught me off guard the first time. It was a little unreal,
especially on a Formula One car. It's because that was your first time using one of those, right?
Yeah. Well, we switched to the Gran Turismo for a minute, and that was definitely you could definitely feel the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's fun though. The simulators are cool. I got into the racing simulator stuff the same time that I got into Formula One.
Okay, perfect.
So that same friend, I know he's listening, but that same friend, Marcus McDuffie, he put me on to Formula One, and that same weekend he let me kind of race. Was it Gran Turismo? No, I think it was Formula One game, or was it Gran Turismo maybe? So all I remember is we did a lap around Monaco.
Yeah.
And he was like trying to match my lap time.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to say that I beat his lap time, and he hasn't been able to beat it since. I got lucky. I think I like spent hours and days and hours on that. And so I know you're listening, Marcus, and you still haven't beat it. So come at me, bro. I know you got your... Actually, you don't have a PlayStation 4 anymore. So come at me, bro. Throw another challenge out there. And let's get it. But anyways, the racing seats are pretty cool.
Well, that speaks to how difficult this is. I mean, I haven't played any racing games or done that. I mean, we've gone go-karting and stuff, but I'm always a slow one. So, I mean, I spent like an hour and a half getting into it and actually being able to figure out the braking points and the tracks. It's pretty crazy. But it's a lot of fun. I definitely want one of those.
It is difficult. So for anybody who hasn't ever tried it, it is a different experience than a controller. It's very hard. It's very difficult. It's not easy.
No.
You jump on there. These are like real. That the cars handle like real life, and you can't give it too much gas. You can't give it too much brake. You can't just go full speed. It's all you got to really think about it.
I mean, if you're at a dead stop, like you spun out, you're at a dead stop. And you just give it like half throttle, you will start doing donuts.
Exactly.
It's insane.
So we spent some time doing some couple laps around the Chinese GP. So
should we reveal the lap times?
No, we should not. I don't think we should do that. I feel like mine's not that good, and yours is either.
Mine's definitely not good.
So
they have no shame. All
right, go for it.
I'll throw out there a 148.
148. You heard it now. Calvin's lap time around the Chinese GP circuit, 148.
Yeah.
We don't know the milliseconds from that or whatever.
They weren't good.
But 148. So if you can beat that,
Yeah.
Shoot that over to our email.
Rub it in my face.
Yeah, what's our email again? startinggridusa@gmail.com.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is, I think. Let me go look at that, actually, because I'm still not sure how I set that up, and this is terrible.
Let me just cut this out, if it is correct.
Yep, Starting Grade USA. So, yep, it is startinggradeusa@gmail.com. So go ahead, email us in. I guess my lap time on that was a 1:30, and I don't even know what, 1:30 point something.
Yeah.
But I want to say the fastest lap times were like 1:28. You know what? Now I'm starting to think about it.
1:30 sounds generous.
Now that I'm starting to think about it, I don't know if I hit 1:30 because within 2 seconds is pretty fast. I have to relook.
Yeah.
I turned it off. I turned it off, so I don't even know.
You were definitely, you actually knew where to brake, and you were staying on the track the entire time.
If I could guess where I came out, if the fastest lap time is 1:28 from like the best person, then I'm probably more along like a 1:36 or something.
Yeah.
If I had to
probably
guess.
sounds about right.
But I don't know.
Well, you did a lap from the starting grid with all the drivers on the track. What'd you end up doing there? Probably like 1:38 or something like that. Yeah.
So maybe I was
because you were 10 seconds. You were 10 seconds
like,
faster. But you also had traffic and stuff. You weren't doing the time
maybe I
trial
was like 1:32. I don't know. I know that I'm competitive enough in racing games, but just not on Formula One.
Very competitive. Games. Not just the simulator on the go-kart track as well.
Yeah. The Alan Tan. Oh man, can't get that guy.
That guy's fast.
Yeah. All right. So moving on.
Well, what was your favorite part of the track? Just from doing those laps. There's a section. It's
let me bring up the track.
Yeah, bring up the track.
Turn names coming up.
Probably like turn 8. I want to say
we're gonna cut this out. Let me make a note to cut this. This is at 1001.
Oh, I have it right in front of me.
You have the turn names?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, yeah, okay. So in my favorite section of the track while we were on the simulator was going into from turn 11. There's a sharp braking point that you really have to slow down, and then into turn 12, it's this big winding loop, and you can just go flat out the entire time, and that is a lot of fun into a long straight. So this is a very fast track, and they're gonna be able to go
power track.
Oh yeah. Like flat out DRS through the speed trap there, and then hard braking into turn 14. And that in the simulator, I overshot it every time. That braking point is so difficult. Turn 15, 16, another long straight, flat out, another DRS zone, and then it goes, and that's across the starting line. Probably not a good idea to start the track breakdown in the middle of the middle of the track. Yeah. But and then turn 1's gonna be fun to watch. It's a little crowded. That was a really difficult track to do or turn to do on the simulator because you go into the turn like you just let off the gas, go into the turn carrying your speed, but then it's another loop, but it's a lot tighter. So you have to brake in the turn. It's very hard to
decreasing radius.
Yeah.
Turn. So it's like a double, but there's a double apex. So you come in.
Yeah, and it goes right into a double apex.
That turn is a double apex, I want to say. You come in on turn 1, you hit the apex coming in, and then you go wide and then come back in for that tight.
Yeah, so turn 2 and 3 are the apex right after that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's extremely difficult. The rest of the track is fun. There's a long like S section that you can pretty much hit that flat out, especially. And this game is so awesome. This is a huge plug for the Formula 1 F1 game. Yeah, I mean when you're hitting it and through that S section, you just go flat out. And if you don't have enough speed, you're going to spin out because it actually puts the downforce into the car.
Yeah.
So you have to go fast through there.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. I highly recommend it.
They're fun games. And now Calvin's going to be bugging me in my house all the time to try to get on the racing
I'm like, no more traveling to my part of town. I'm going to come out here.
Oh, man. So, yeah, well, we got it. We got to drive around the track, so that was cool. So we have a much better idea of how this race is going to go. So who do you think, it being a power track, who do you think is going to? What constructor do you think will dominate the weekend?
So I think it's gonna be Hamilton and Bottas up at the top. Their car is probably built for this track. It's gonna be fun to watch.
We'll see, because Ferrari, I think their car is faster now, so I think the power might just go to them.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Mercedes have been able to keep up with them on either race so far. Australia and Bahrain, they were behind. So
Ferrari has. Well, I mean,
not Australia. Sorry, Australia. Ferrari was slow. Yeah.
Well, they've won at this track before. Last year, was it Vettel who came in first?
No, last year was
on the Chinese track, or
on China. Last year was Ricardo.
Okay.
Yeah, Ricardo. So Red Bull took it, but that was so let's talk about that. Let's get into last year's race, because that was actually a fluke. Well, not a fluke. Ricardo did get lucky by a safety car incident that happened.
Okay.
So at the moment, it was Vettel. No, it was Raikkonen was leading at the front. And then, don't remember who was behind him, actually. Oh, and Bottas. So it was Raikkonen and Bottas, and Hamilton was fourth. And then what happened was there was a safety car incident when Pierre Gasly ran into his teammate, Brendan Hartley. So a full track safety car, and the timing of the safety car just so happened that both Red Bulls were able to dive into the pits. Now, at the time, both Red Bulls were running 5th and 6th behind both Ferraris and both Mercedes. They dove into the pits, got fresh tires, and there was no more pit stops for the rest of the race. So they had, 8-lap fresher tires than the Mercedes and Ferrari in front of them. They basically just ran past everyone. Verstappen might have won if he didn't crash into Vettel. So this is that race where Verstappen tried to dive up the inside of Vettel on that hairpin turn after the long back straight. Tried to dive Vettel, and they crashed, and they both spun. Ricardo came up the inside and then started hunting down Raikkonen. Started hunting down Raikkonen, Bottas, and Hamilton
on the fresh tires.
On fresher tires, 8-lap fresher tires. And I can't remember what lap he ended up passing Raikkonen for first place. But actually, sorry, I can't remember where he ended up passing Bottas for first place. But he ended up taking that victory by an 8-second lead to Bottas, and Raikkonen came in third. So Ferrari and Mercedes kind of got unlucky with the safety car incident. Otherwise, it probably would have been a Ferrari win on that track last season.
Yeah. So I mean, let's see what happens. But I'm gonna go with Mercedes. I'm gonna change course here. This is a rare territory for me.
Not going with your Red Bull.
I know. I just don't think they have the power in this track.
Where your boys at?
They do have the downforce though. So.
Hamilton was saying over the testing weekend or the testing week that the Honda engines are within 10 horsepower of Mercedes and Ferrari.
That's crazy how they can tell that. I mean, obviously they have no way of knowing that for sure, but I
don't know where he got that information. I didn't really read the article that fully.
I'm sure they dive into all the diagnostics and what data they can gather from
they got their
car.
Spies.
Yeah.
Hey Mercedes, if you want to spy, you can find me in the Bay Area. My address is not going to tell you that actually. That was the last race. That was pretty much. I think that was the gist of it. Those are the big things that happened last season. Gasly and Hartley coming together. Verstappen showing his Verstappenness and just crap. I mean, if you see the replay, we'll watch it after this. It was ridiculous.
I don't know how you try to pass in that corner. There's no way.
Well, and it's funny because Pierre Gasly did the same thing to Hartley. So he tried to pass on the inside. He was behind Hartley. Tried to pass on inside the last minute. Complained that Hartley closed the door on him, but that's not
There's no way to pass in that corner. I don't know why anyone would even try.
It's very difficult to pass on that corner, especially if the other driver just doesn't know you're there. So Pierre Gasly ran right into the side of Hartley, and Hartley spun out, and Pierre got away. Then a couple laps later, Verstappen ran right into the side of Vettel, but at a way faster speed, and both of them ended up spinning out. And now Verstappen and Pierre Gasly are on the same team in the Red Bull, so we'll see if they try to make any repeat errors on that turn. I'm actually be looking for that. We're trying to see if Verstappen throws it up the inside on somebody again, and if he does, then I think that'll be the last straw for me. I don't think I'll be able to like Verstappen. I'm like teetering on the edge of liking Verstappen. I'm coming from disliking him. No, I'm coming from liking him when he first came to disliking him after one season because of his youngness and just kind of like his rashness.
Yeah.
And then now I'm coming back because last season, second half of the season, he started doing better.
Yeah.
Doing better with his, not his driving. His driving's always been phenomenal, but his personality.
It's like his attitude.
Yeah, his attitude.
I think he was getting frustrated. I mean, you dominate or you do so well coming up, and then you get into it and you're not seeing the results you want. I mean, yeah, you're right. He should have showed more maturity. Like look at Leclerc.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand the frustration.
I can too. I mean, I can't sympathize or I don't know which one is empathize or sympathize because I'm not a Formula One driver, but
you could see where he's coming from.
I can see where he's coming from. But I started liking him again at the second half of last season.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like he chilled out and
he did. He made smarter decisions.
That's true. Yeah.
He needs to learn that smarter decisions will win him a championship.
I mean, perfect example, Hamilton.
Hamilton is the epitome of making a smart decision. Like, I'm going to let that one go. It still takes the W. So Verstappen can learn something from that. But if he comes in and crashes into somebody in the penultimate corner of the Chinese GP, just like he did, and if it's Vettel, it's for sure he ain't coming back. I'm not gonna like him if he does that to Vettel on that turn.
Yeah.
If he does anybody else, I'm not gonna like him, but he can still earn his way back into my heart.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Only time will tell. 1 week to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I can't wait. It's gonna be a fun race to watch.
We didn't look up what time the race was. Are we going to be able to watch it live? We've been able to watch the first 2 races live.
I think so. I think this one's not too bad. But are we gonna do what we did for the Bahrain Grand Prix? We're gonna bet another burrito.
You trying to bring back the burrito? I haven't paid out on my first burrito bet.
No, I wanna rack up a stockpile of burritos here.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. So let's see before we get into that, the race is at 11:10 at night.
That's not too bad. Oh yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
The Heineken.
That's right.
The Heineken Chinese Grand Prix. I'm gonna go and pick me up a 6-pack of Heineken.
Yeah, just don't fall asleep. Race ends at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Take a power nap before.
Right. So yeah, we'll be able to watch. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Has it always been this way? Have we been able to watch way more races than we thought?
I think so.
Thought?
Yeah.
Here
I
we
think
are.
there's only a couple that are like right in the middle of the night.
Here we are thinking. I guess this is just for the West Coast, right? But like if you're
East Coast, it would be like 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's nice being in sunny California.
Yeah.
Chilling it up. So.
But
yeah, I guess the only thing to get into, well, actually, before we get into our burrito bet, let's make sure we have a full understanding of what happened in the last season so that we can have some educated guesses for this burrito bet. So like I said before, Ricardo took first, then Bottas, Raikkonen, Hamilton, and Verstappen was fifth. So it was all Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull as usual. Hulkenberg was sixth place. Alonso, 7th. Looks like... All right, so Vettel was in 8th. Sainz was 9th, followed by Magnussen, Ocon, Perez, Van Dorn, Lance Stroll, Sorokin, Marcus Ericsson, Romain Grosjean, Pierre Gasly, Charles Leclerc in the Sauber, taking up 19th. And then last place, actually, Hartley did not finish. He might have DNF'd because of the collision with Gasly. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. So that is how last year's race went.
All right.
And with that, we can get into our burrito bet.
Yeah, I think we've learned from the Bahrain GP that these bets are going to be wildly off.
Wow, yeah, way off.
We have no idea what we're talking about. We just like to do this because it's fun. So
because we want to eat. Who doesn't want to eat burritos?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can't eat all kinds of burritos all day long because that would just be a bad time. But burritos are awesome.
All right. So, what do we do for the
What
the last one?
Yeah,
I think
let's
we
get
did.
our categories.
I know we did qualifying.
Well, let me take a look.
Who came in last, right? And then I think maybe first car to DNF.
All right, so our categories from last time, we had race win, best of the rest, and first DNF. Do we want to stick with those? Do you feel like there's another one, different one? I think 3 is
Yeah,
good.
I think that's good. I don't know. How do you feel about qualifying?
Qualifying, like who qualifies first?
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
We
Yeah.
got to replace. So I want to only keep it with 3.
let's stick with the original.
Original
I like the
3 for
original.
now?
Yeah,
Okay,
those
we're gonna
are
stick with
good
that.
categories.
All right. So let me get set up here to take our predictions, our Burrito Bits predictions. So, all right, let's start with race win. You went first last time.
All right,
I'll go first this time.
Yeah, I mean the winner can't go first. We got to let the.
Oh man. So for race win, oh man, am I gonna go with Leclerc because he's looking pretty strong, but I don't know. I think for race win, I'm gonna go with Hamilton.
Dang,
Yep.
you smooth, dude.
I'm a Hamilton fanboy. I'm just calling now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think you stole my my prediction there.
Oh no.
I was actually gonna go with Hamilton.
Yeah.
But it was either Hamilton or Bottas. I mean, that beard. But
If he has it back.
I'm not gonna let it go. No, I'm gonna steal your thunder there. I'm gonna go with Leclerc.
All right. So we just swapped.
Yeah, I mean,
places. All right.
but I don't know. Vettel seems like the smart pick here. But let's stick with Leclerc.
Leclerc was so much faster.
Yeah,
than that.
he after that performance, hopefully he rides that high
Hopefully.
and doesn't drop off. But
We'll see if the hype is. We'll see what the hype's all about.
yeah.
All right, best of the rest. So you go first on this one.
Oh man, I feel like I should.
Let's not pick anybody from Renault
No.
or Haas.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull one out of left field here. I'm gonna go with. I want to go with Carlos Sainz.
Okay. Oh, okay. I like that.
I've completely turned the page on McLaren after their first 2 performances.
I like that. I support that because I'm starting to love McLaren, and I
Yeah.
hope he had 2 really bad races, really bad luck. Not bad races. He got bad luck, and I hope that he does get best of the rest, even though that won't earn me a burrito. But I like that. It's nice.
All right. So who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Iceman.
Oh, solid
Kimi
choice.
Räikkönen, yeah, because
Man.
he's been putting that Alfa Romeo up there.
Yeah,
I like it. So
driving the wheels off of it. It's awesome.
all right, next category, last one, first DNF. So I'll start with that one. First DNF.
I mean, I feel like there's 2 teams that are are going to be on this list every race this year.
We both went with Haas. Wait, did we go with Haas last time? No, we went with Racing Point Williams, but Haas was the first DNF the last race. So I'm gonna go with. Am I gonna be bold and go with a Red Bull?
So
I think Verstappen's gonna.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
You think he's gonna get a little too aggressive there with his overtaking maneuvers?
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know.
This is difficult.
Yeah, he might
It's
not
hard
have,
to make predictions.
might not have chilled out as much as you think.
It's hard to make predictions.
Yeah, I'm going with what I feel is an easy one to make, but we'll see.
Oof. All right, so I guess I'm gonna go with Racing Point.
All right. I can see that. I mean, they got that Mercedes engine, and their reliability is there.
I went with Racing Point last race. I probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
All right, I already put it down. It's Racing Point.
All right.
All right, what's your pick?
So I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go. Now I know this is probably a bad move because
I feel like you're gonna say something terrible. Like
Ricardo is on a second engine,
no.
but after we've seen the reliability of those Renaults, I'm gonna go with the Renault. I mean,
I hope it's not Ricardo.
I mean, did we ever find out what happened with that double DNF last race? Like,
I haven't. I don't know.
It looked like at least Ricardo's engine looked like. Ricardo was the second one to go out, and then Hulkenberg.
It was Hulkenberg's engine that blew for sure.
Yeah, it looked like Hulkenberg's engine was toast. So.
Ricardo's engine just turned off on him.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Renault. They still haven't been able to figure that out, and I think their bad luck is going to continue.
Okay. Leclerc's using the same engine from Bahrain as well. They came out and said they found it actually was not a MGU issue.
Okay, yeah.
It was one of his cylinders stopped firing.
Oh, wow.
So he was down some horsepower there, and I think they said it was a shorted wire or something like that.
Okay.
So for the spark plug, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So they said they figure it's not that big of a problem. They fixed it, and they're going to give him the same engine, so he won't be taking an engine grid penalty or anything like that.
That's perfect. Yeah, because if you don't know, I'm sure you know if you're listening to a Formula One podcast, they get 3 engines a year.
Yeah.
So the engines have to last about 7 races.
Right, each.
So, yeah.
So, all right. Well, that's our predictions, our burrito bet. See if I got to pay out on my first one.
Heck yeah.
I can't be stacking up on burritos.
Let's go get some burritos.
Anything else to go over before we close out the podcast?
No, I don't think so. I'm excited. I love that simulator. I think doing that before this race, it was awesome. I'm probably going to hit it again before on Friday.
Calvin is hyped up on the simulator.
I mean, it gives you a whole different perspective and like going into each corner. So
yeah,
it's a completely different way of looking at the races. So I'm super excited for this. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. All right. Well, as always, please like and subscribe on whatever media you're using to listen to this podcast. Helps us out a lot. Also, if you want to reach out, you can reach out at startinggridusa@gmail.com. And I think that is it for now.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Enjoy the race.